Hey guys, and welcome back to Trekyards. He is Commander Calkins.
He's got a Foley.
Welcome back, guys. Today we're talking about Lower Decks, Season 5, Episode 2, Shades of Green, which I expected to be a clip show going into it, actually.
And this is actually the part 2, kind of the part 1, which was last week's first double bill, and it is definitely thematically a two-parter. We had discussed when would Tendi come back to the fold, and the end of the story. And it's a pretty Orion heavy, Boimler Mariner heavy. And what did you think of episode 2?
I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first episode, but I did appreciate seeing like a planet that had just joined the Federation and became a post-scarcity society. That whole transition was kind of neat. But yeah, the Orion conclusion seemed very low stakes to me. Like the solar sailor race was just kind of like, the cliche of, the winner of this race wins the thing, right? But no, other than that, it was all right. It was good. It just wasn't as good as the first one for me personally. That's my thoughts. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's super interesting to see the cultural stuff. But when we talked about the first one, I'd seen both, and because I had to for the prep, and it was a lot of that stuff came in part 1. This was a little bit of that. It wasn't to shown more, but really focused more on a huge amount of it is focused on the sister's pregnant. And that kind of takes over almost all the dialogue from part 2. You know what I mean? And that I wasn't expecting that because it kind of lost Tendi her agency as a character. And it was resolved in the way it was anyway. And I'm sure, why wouldn't Tendi know about how women in the culture give birth while fighting anyway? I know she's Starfleeted, but she would know all those stories. So it was a little bit obsessed with a not necessarily most important plot point, and it could have been taken in a far more interesting direction for that way. Solar Sailor was fun, fine, interesting. You know, if you expect cheating, then it's fun, but again, didn't take it quite as far as it could have been. I liked the Boimler Mariner stuff. It was good to see them together. So it almost feels like a rarity these days. Not a fan of the moustache, but that's sort of the point. Right? You meant to look down on him for doing the silly thing of copying his other self. That's the plot line, right? So, but I didn't like it, didn't love it, but that's fine, that's the point. His Boimerisms is dumb, but again, that's the point, right? Like the ending of giving the wealth to the Orions, but it does sort of the entire point of their episode, because now they have got wealth again. So it gets undone and sort of meaningless, because it would be different wealth, worth different, and it's a weird ending where it kind of they lose everything, so they could have made a brand new plot line with the Orion family, but they undo it instantly by giving them wealth, but it's not going to be the same, so we have no idea where we stand. So it's an odd end.
But the thing with that is they both lost their wealth and I think got kicked out of the syndicate.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So do they have wealth now and just not part of the syndicate?
Yes. But they need to fight to get back in. Would be if you were an Orion, you'd then they've got money to buy a new fleet.
But the dad's like, it'd be nice to take a break from the assassination attempts.
Yeah, they're very low key. I'm not really sure why these guys would be high up in the syndicate, given how gentle the parents are.
Yeah.
Maybe in your old or middle age, you just go from being a high-end pirate to chilled parents. But that's a hell of a swap. So I never quite got the sense these were high-end pirates. Or it's fine, but the tones didn't quite match what they were trying to do. And I'm sad that the husband didn't get a single line. He's there, but he was just like lots of men in society, just there to look pretty. I just noted that. It would be nice there to give him a slight bone of a line, but that's okay. The sister was great, though. I thought she did phenomenal. It was really fun to see more of her and be kind of a main character. That was fun.
So you're talking about the dad of the pregnant lady?
Yeah, the husband who married in the previous season. Yeah.
One of the things I really liked was the domestic robots being assigned guard duty and trying to sweep with disruptors, and then the gardener, oh my god, I should have watered them or fertilized them. I'm a bad guard and gardener. Those were kind of the highlights for me. And do you need your comm badge? You keep using Mariners. And it's funny because I expected another joke out of that at the end, because the droid had both of them, and she's like, if I could just reach the comm badges, and I assumed he was going to take hers by mistake and put it on and like talk to Ransom, and he'd be like, you're still using Mariner's comm badge. You know what I mean? Like, I thought there would be something more from that, but I really thought that was kind of funny. So yeah, I love that part. Those were the two like real standouts for me in this episode.
Yeah, well, the comm badge was the low-key Trek humor.
Yeah.
That's not funny, but it is a good point. and I like the gentle acted tone. I mean, how do they explain to the actor who plays Ransom, like, this is slightly weird, but not that weird, but also it's more weird. Like, every new time you talk to the person's comrade is much weirder because it's hard to explain. And well acted, like, I got the tone. And the robots were definitely funny. Although, where are the non-rich? Because why couldn't they have their kids or something? It was a good joke. Now, this is what I was going to say for a video strip, but we'll talk about it now briefly. And I have no idea what the context is of this, but as I'm sure you noticed, Stuart, they are equipped with Star Trek Picard phaser rifles that are not invented yet. So why are they?
Didn't notice.
Which is super interesting, because is this a Might Man hint that these are time travel agent robot rich people? Because those rifles are Federation from 15 years in the future. And if they're here now, that means they're really old rifles by Picard, which is fine, but then why would this race get new Picard rifles? And they're super detailed for Picard rifles, so someone intentionally did that. So, weird canon point, because they ain't just some side thing. Yeah, they're super recognisable. So, that's an interesting subtext. I mean, I'm obviously just some animation joke, but it's not a canonological joke, and it does a few problems in other various things. But it's cool, just weird.
Yeah, so I mean, those are the standouts. I really like the post-scarcity thing. Like, why are we waiting in line? We don't have to pay anymore. Or, yeah, go ahead, take my hover bike thing. I'll just replicate another one. I just love that. It's like, I would love to have a life where I don't have to worry about money and could just do what I wanted to do, right? Like,
yeah. That's the most interesting single part of it, because, yes, you've never seen this directly. Of course, you don't need so much burning of stuff. That's obviously a bit silly. But, yes, the idea of just suddenly, as I found ourselves, replication station, just boom, you can make food. And if you're fed and your house isn't being, you don't need to pay the house, then what else do you do? Then if you can choose your time being spent, you can then do so much more with that. So they're definitely fun and a good backdrop, and certainly a well realized, while not being hyper important to the plot, really. I mean, they could have done almost anything to have people kidnap them. That was super unspecific to really, but was fun to see that for sure. Now, the T'Lyn stuff is fine. It's nice she wants friends. I mean, it makes sense for Tendi, but, Vulcans are low-key by their definition. It's just kind of, I mean, if we know Tendi's going to come back, then all this stuff just kind of feels like we need something for them to do. It's nice, but it's not going to be remembered I'm not saying in a season's time, there's no more seasons, but it's a nice, gentle thing, but it's just something for them to do, right?
And poor Rutherford. Okinopi! He gets scared by T'Lyn, and then Tendi shows up, so that was kind of nice. I did like the shuttle thing, and did you notice that T'Lyn added her picture to this plaque? So I mean, that's cool.
Although, hell of a thing to destroy at the end. That was a lot. Although, as has been pointed out, Guji is actually behind the shuttle in that sequence, so I'm guessing
he's in the shuttle. He's like,
well, yeah. So I'm guessing because T'Lyn is while strong, I don't think she can actually rip off welded components, but Guji probably can, because hologram, whatever. So that was, yeah. And it was fun. It was a logical, non-logical. But since they've had 5 years to rebuild it, it's obviously there not to be built. It's there to be played with. Yeah, which is fun. I like that. But yeah, again, super low key, right? A gentle storyline. I'm not going to remember it in 2 years, but gentle and nice.
It just kind of went by, and it was like, okay, that's just the conclusion to the story from the first episode. The first one stood out to me a lot more because of the alternate reality, like doppelgangers and stuff.
Well, this is one of those. If you're at 22 episodes, this is gentle character piece.
Yes,
but it doesn't have any. They're obviously playing Tendi coming back as the big moment, but if you know it's coming, and it's back to a low deck situation, it doesn't have the same oomph because you know it's coming. It's like killing a villain in a Star Trek movie. It's like, well, they're going to get killed. It doesn't. They're really hard to make them have stakes when you know they're going to die. So it was a very low key episode. Yeah, and I didn't really understand why Tendi thought blowing up the thing was going to. She's smarter than that. She knows Orion culture. I don't see why she would do a stupid thing, because it's entirely her fault, and she would know it enough to not. And since they weren't rushed to this race either, she would research the race. She's a really smart lady, so this was just her being dumb for the sake of being character dumb.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. I thought that was I get we tied, nobody won, but
you mean you both lost?
Exactly. We also both won. I mean, not really. No, you both lost.
Yeah, I didn't. That wasn't very in character to me.
I agree.
I mean, if she was in Starfleet, yes, but she knows where she is. and therefore she's smarter. And she's been there for several weeks or months, right? She knows. That said, all the stuff with the two cultures was brilliant, as we talked about in another review. It was great that the magistrate had a much more similar skin tone to the Aurelians, whatever they're called. It was great.
Orions, yeah.
Fun. It really linked the culture well. Loved seeing that.
Pirate Queen. It's worth pointing that out, yeah.
Yeah. Although I don't understand at all why the other house is now serving Tendi's...
Well, because they have no money. Because the money from the post-scarcity ward is going towards Tendi's family. They have nothing. They lost everything, even though the queen said you didn't have much to lose in the first place. So they're just helping out now, I guess.
But there was no connective tissue. They hate them. They're a separate place, separate race, separate planet. No, I mean the same system, but like they're not next door neighbor houses. They don't. If there'd been a joke where it's in like their mansion, cut to the left, there's the other mansion, fine. But they don't owe each other anything. And in fact, they'd hate each other. But now they became lackeys just because they missed a scene, and also didn't like seeing them be that idiot because they're spacefaring Orions who are successful pirates. They're not just going to become bumbling idiots like this. In that same way, it was not relatable, not understandable, and dumb. I needed one scene in between, like the sister calling out to them, saying, "Hey guys, we can pay you 18 Latinum points higher than average. Come work for us. It'll be great. We'll work together." Yes, okay, that sounds great. Like
rebuild your wealth.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, we'll be the bigger house together. We'll join our forces. Like, you know what I mean? But we missed that, so it wasn't a so weird ending. They definitely missed a scene or two there.
I agree that there should have been like one or two more scenes in actually each episode, because they're doing what Lower Decks does. They're telling really good stories, but they're almost getting the grand scope of a regular length episode, like an hour, and I think they're having to cut stuff to make it fit, and it kind of shows in some of the scenes, like that one in particular. So yeah, I think their ambition kind of outweighs what they can actually do with the time they have, which makes it feel a little disjointed in spots.
Which makes sense that it really is a two-parter, because you had to tell that all in two. But yeah, this episode, I enjoyed every element of every story, but no, not the way they did it. As in, if it had been a 40-minute story, we could have had Tendi explain her logic, talk to maybe her mum about should I destroy the thing, and that could be a loophole. And then the magistrate's like, no, it's not. So you explain why her thought process, and at the end, like, they needed more scenes to explain some of the small things, which are logical if you break it down. I'm sure they thought about them, but the way it presents itself, it doesn't come across as strong as it should have.
But overall, it was a good episode.
Well, as you always say, Lower Decks never does bad. This is damn solid, but damn solid for them is a lower bar than what they have done, because their bar is so high. So it's damn solid, damn enjoyable, love to see the cultures, character work's great, excited for more, but it's pretty good.
But we want to hear your thoughts on this episode. Put them down below. What do you think of the Blue Orions, the Green Orion storyline, or just the post-scarcity thing? Let us know in the comment section. We love hearing from you guys, and be sure to tune in for our live where we talk about this. Also, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, notify, do all the things, and join us.
Mm-hmm. And watch the other Lower Decks content. It's all breakdowny with visuals, all that fun stuff we do to support Lower Decks and us, and see the little nuggets we've discovered, as we often do. Mm-hmm. And support my Patreon, join the channel, all the things that help us directly in our times of making content. Then those allow us to do it in a great way. Or one-time donations via Super Chat during live, Super Thanks on a video. There's a little button, click that, or buy a shirt at the links down below.
So until next time, he's Commander Cockings.
He's kind of Foley.
You said doo-doo.
Oh dear. Bye, guys.